Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Should we start?
Yeah, let's begin.
Let us know,
Okay,
guys.
awesome.
You cannot hear us.
Hi, everybody. So, today we are happy to see all of you and to answer all your questions and also tell a little bit more about our plans for 2021. And today we have Stephane, who is our CMO and co-founder, me, vice president and co-founder, and main James, who is also like, I'm going to add him to the stream. Here he is. He is CEO of RioDeFi and co-founder as well. So first of all, I would like to also welcome newcomers because I know that our community is growing fast and it's really exciting. So maybe James, could you please share just a little bit overview about RioDeFi and also present yourself? It would be really cool.
Sure, happy to. Thank you so much for the warm introduction, Katerina. Yes, I'm James Anderson, the CEO of RioDeFi, and I've been in the blockchain space since 2013. First got involved with Bitcoin through sort of the economic sphere. I was researching a lot about gold and silver investing, alternative currencies. I was really jarred by the 2008 financial crisis, which happened while I was in business school. And it really, shocked sort of the core of the economy, especially, in the US, but also globally. And, this led me to look for why did this happen? How do we prevent something similar from happening again? I learned about, fractional reserve banking and all this kind of the rabbit hole that many people go down when they get into cryptocurrencies. And that led me to a long path. I invested in the Ethereum crowd sale in 2014 and sort of rode the ICO wave up and down from 2017 to 2018, saw the space really evolve a lot. I ran a business called Blockchain Investor, teaching people about cryptocurrency investments, how they can securely store their coins on hardware wallets, which exchanges to trade on, which ones you might want to avoid, these kinds of things. So led in from that into a journey into social entrepreneurship with Social Evolution, where I was propagating DAO technologies. So this is decentralized autonomous organizations and helping to create those for mutual aid or mutual benefits. So this is the idea of like market-based welfare services. But unfortunately, at the time, the DAO technologies were pretty new. And with the gas fees and all the complications of blockchain, it made it very difficult for people to use these platforms. And so, this led me to really want to work on how can we make blockchain more easy to use for everyone, right? So that even my parents, my grandparents could even use these platforms, right? You need to make it super simple. And that's when, I started talking with you, Katerina, Stephane, with Calvin, with Gino. We started talking about this idea of how about we create something that really makes blockchain super simple, connects blockchain to banking. Most people have issues getting cash into cryptocurrencies, and how can we make the whole world powered by DeFi, right? How can we give everyone access to DeFi services? And so, this led to that journey in 2019 when we all came together to form RioDeFi. And the rest is sort of history from there. So I'll let Stephane and you, Katerina, also give your backgrounds, because I think it's really important, our story of how we came together, how we see the future of DeFi, especially 2019. Obviously, it was already a trend, but really took off in full force in 2020 when DeFi protocols went into the billions of dollars of assets under management or assets that are locked in DeFi protocols, and this very new system. All the ideas we discussed are now becoming like I don't want to call it mainstream yet, but certainly becoming very, very much more popular in 2021, especially. So yeah, maybe Stephane, you can share your thoughts there.
Let's do. Really excited to hear about your story. I mean, I've heard it many times, but I'm sure our community is really excited.
Sure, thanks, James. My name is Stephane Laurent Villedieuwill. As you can see by my name, I'm originally from France. My background is in digital marketing. And I've been working for many different types of companies, from startups to big Fortune 30 type of enterprises as a marketer. And I came across blockchain when I was working in China in 2016. And back then I was studying data science and how to use data science to support marketing. And I came across this new database type of structure called blockchain. And this is how I started turning down the rabbit hole, as James mentioned earlier. And that got me on the journey where I started to apply my experience in marketing to blockchain projects. And the opportunity to work on a number of decentralized applications and other projects that were dedicated to building these blockchain infrastructures, and realized after some time that the technology was quite immature, and there was a number of inadequation between what the tech or the space was offering and what industry, the financial industry, but any global or mass scale industry would need. And this is as a result of this reflection and discussions with people I knew in this industry, Katerina, James, Kelvin, that we try to take the different issues we had identified in the space to read the core fundamentals and realize, okay, if we want to make blockchain relevant for the global capital markets and industries, we need to make a few fixes and change in the approach of this technology. And this was the foundation for RioDeFi, and we've been working on this ever since, about 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
So that's about me.
So, well, thank you, Stephane. It was really exciting one more time to hear. So, no, actually, I'm really proud to work with you guys, with Stephane and James, because I know about your experience. I know you for quite long, and it's, I don't know, it's really honor to be in a team with such professionals. As far as I am concerned, well, I came to blockchain space in 2017. So it was boom. I remember everybody was crazy about Bitcoin price, people invested in projects even without reading their white papers. And I came from this space, let's say, partially diplomacy, but unfortunately, due to political reasons, I had to leave diplomacy because Russia took Crimea in 2014. And at the same time, I was a seasoned business consultant before. So I understood at that time that basically something new is needed. By something new, I mean some technology that will boost the world, that will boost the businesses all over the globe. And for sure, having experience in international conferences with my research about economy and politics, I just I found blockchain space really exciting. And eventually, when I entered this world, I was working as let's say, as advisor for different projects, mostly for business development. And also, I reviewed lots of tokenomics, lots of business strategies, and I also cooperated with a few funds who were interested in blockchain projects, and made analysis for them as well. And eventually, there was a moment when I understood that, okay, we need to do something to create our own, to basically not only just to come to the space, but also to improve the world, although it's quite naive maybe, but still, I'm sure that this technology can definitely improve the world economy and also improve the living standards of many people. So that's how we decided also to create RioDeFi, and we decided not to go with one product only, but we decided to create the whole ecosystem that will work not only locally on some markets, but also globally. And once again, when I discussed it with Stephane and James, I remember how excited I was and how happy I was when we started to do it, actually. So because these guys are professionals, and I'm 100% sure that our team can do the best regarding this space as well. So just it was a brief overview regarding my story, and I would like to move to the questions because this is basically the key point, as many people in our communities they kept asking us about guys, what are your plans for 2021, and what is the plan for Q1 2021? What should we expect? So this is the main question, and for this question, I'm going to address it to James as the CEO of RioDeFi, and definitely I'm going to show our roadmap. So he would tell it in the, let's say, he would tell more about our plans for Q1 2021.
Sure, happy to. Thanks, Katerina, and thanks for sharing your background and the things that really brought us to create RioDeFi. It's not just one blockchain that's going to rule them all. You had this sort of idea at the beginning of the space, Bitcoin maximalism and this kind of thing. Obviously, Bitcoin is fantastic. We're all huge fans of it. We think it's the sort of digital gold of the crypto space, and obviously is changing the way money works at a global level, right? But it takes more than just Bitcoin. You need this whole ecosystem. You need Ethereum with the DeFi protocols, all these different savings and lending applications, and further, obviously the Polkadot network right now in 2021 is reaching new all-time highs every single day, it seems like, lately. And we really think it's going to take off, especially once the Parachain auctions go live in a few months. That will really put it on the map, if it's not already, for the rest of the world. And I think this is the year where blockchain finally does break into mass adoption. I think we're going to see, we've already seen institutional players moving into the space with Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust having over $10 billion in assets under management. I think it's over 20 billion now. When you look at all the cryptocurrencies that they have, you've had the Wall Street Bets saga, which was quite interesting, seeing retail traders really wrecking the naked short sellers for things like GameStop and AMC Theaters and these other companies that are fairly iconic in America. And it's just a very interesting case. And then, obviously with Elon Musk pumping Dogecoin, you have a lot of exciting things. And, it's is it fun? Is it hurting retail investors? With these pumps and dumps of these subsequent, coins and or stocks, right? But part of what it is, it's raising awareness about problems in the financial system, right? Obviously with the GameStop situation, there's a lot of issues around naked short selling on Wall Street. There has been since, for a long time. And so I think raising awareness is a very key thing. And Dogecoin does a good job of that for cryptocurrency. So, love it or hate it. I personally love it. Who can hate a friendly dog, right? But, it wakes people up to cryptocurrency, and then they want to explore more. And, all the memes, all the videos. It's a really exciting time. So I think, you're going to see, and we have seen, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, the entire market cap now is over $1 trillion, actually 1.14 trillion the last time I looked today. And so it's super exciting, and I think it's only the beginning because the space has matured quite significantly since 2017. This first kind of, or maybe not first, but a big growth in the blockchain space. It happens every few years, generally every 3 years around the Bitcoin halving. So we've seen this run up. So that's a lot about sort of the general blockchain space and cryptocurrencies and kind of the current market situation. Now, what's Rio doing in 2021? So, let me dive into the roadmap, as you mentioned, Katerina.
Yes, unfortunately, I cannot share the screen. So if you could help me and share your screen with the roadmap, it would be fantastic.
Sure, let me...
I can send you it. I can send to you.
I have it, but I'm not sure. Let's see. How can I share my screen? Oh, here we go. Okay.
Yeah. I see the question starts appearing in the chat.
Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So yeah, RioChains Q1 2021 roadmap is very aggressive, I could say, in terms of the things that we'll be delivering, but it's all things that have been a long time coming. As many of you community members know, Rio has really gotten off to a great start in 2021 with launching our generic asset bridge. So now you can actually convert RFUEL from the ERC20 Ethereum-based version of RFUEL into the RST88 RioChain mainnet version. And what this allows you to do then is send transactions at the speed of RioChain, which is 2 seconds, with very low gas fees. So it's 0.1 RFUEL, which right now means it's less than 1 penny to send a transaction on RioChain. So you can send RFUEL to other users, test it out with 2 of your own wallets, just to get a feel for RioChain. And then you can withdraw it back to Ethereum in order to, interact with DeFi protocols or Ethereum-based wallets or exchanges, this kind of thing. Now at the beginning, right, this is the first sort of step in the journey. In the future, we're going to have native on-chain staking of RFUEL on the RioChain mainnet. So that's coming later in Q1, as well as the DeFi pools, which are going to allow users to earn rewards, staking rewards, by staking RFUEL in order to get other cryptocurrencies such as USDT, ETH in some cases. Basically, we generate these yields from using DeFi protocols such as Uniswap, such as Curve Finance, and this enables us to pass them along back to our community because, in many cases, it actually does not make sense for the individual user to use Uniswap liquidity provision or Curve Finance because the gas fees on Ethereum are too high. So if you're staking only small amounts, even if you get like a 30% annual yield, you lose all of that to the gas fees of the Ethereum network, especially now because gas fees are quite high. So by grouping and pooling people's assets, we can actually maximize the returns while minimizing the cost of the transactions. It's sort of the economies of scale of DeFi. So, that we're super excited for that. But before that, I'm sort of jumping around here a little bit because I'm so excited about those DeFi pools. The Rio Wallet web version, new and improved interface is coming out. We're targeting that by the end of February. And so you can see some screenshots there. We'll also be releasing some high-res versions of those screenshots very soon. And we are also launching later this quarter the iOS and Android versions of Rio Wallet. So this will be the mobile versions, and we're integrating our OAuth solution that allows people to create a wallet using their Gmail account, their Facebook, or other social media accounts like Reddit, Discord, etc. So this will make it much more easy to use for the average person. And we're also looking at integrating fiat on and off ramps for Rio Wallet. So we'll start with the fiat on ramps. So this is going to be, first of all, we have our integration with MoonPay. As many of you know, MoonPay is a partner that we're working very closely with to allow people to purchase Bitcoin, Ether, USDT, RFUEL, OHM, all through the MoonPay application. So you can actually do that on the RioDeFi website currently, and we're going to be integrating that with Rio Wallet as well. And this, by the way, this is the RioChains Q1 roadmap, so it doesn't get into some of our other products, such as Rio Exchange, which is also targeting Q1 for release. Now, the last thing, and probably for us the most important thing, is our integration with the Rococo V1 Parachain testnet. So this will enable us then to participate in the Parachain auctions once they are live on, so they're first testing them out. They want to see the economic models and make sure as many projects as possible can connect to the Rococo testnet in order to participate. And so we will be releasing more details on our Parachain lease offering model in the coming months here for you to see exactly what the tokenomics are around staking DOT in order to get RFUEL rewards. And we're evaluating the various models now. So we'll be happy to share that with you as soon as we can. So that's what we have planned for Q1. And we really are super excited to have these products released out to make DeFi much more user-friendly and cheaper and faster at a time when the Ethereum network, unfortunately, it's getting a lot of attention, and the price is, reaching all-time highs, which is great for holders of Ethereum. Obviously, many of us are holders of ETH, so we're very happy about that, but it does make it hard for new users of cryptocurrency to use a protocol like Uniswap and have to pay like $60 in fees just to do a $5 transaction of purchasing a crypto. Like it basically means you cannot use it for that, right? So what we're excited about is to have these DeFi services that are very cheap and very accessible to the average person, so that you can try cryptocurrency and you can send it in a very cost-effective manner, especially when it comes to payments for, even for like AMA rewards, right? How about using RioChain, where you can make it so that it's less than a penny to send a transaction, so you can get automated rewards and things like this. So we're very excited about that, and I think that's a good overview of Q1. Stephane and Katerina, if you have things to comment on that, and then after that we can dive into the questions, because it seems like we have a lot here.
Yeah, but I also have lots of questions from my side as well that probably everybody would be happy to hear the answer of. So regarding a generic asset bridge, like you mentioned, just like an overview, like what it is for and how it is like working. But actually, for me, it's a big achievement of RioDeFi, because I know, and I've been contacted by many projects who are actually curious about our solution for generic asset bridge. And maybe would you please give us more information about this fantastic product, so everybody understand why we are so happy about this feature?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. The generic asset bridge. I mean, it's quite a pivotal technology in blockchain development, but especially for RioChain. This is our first entry into the cross-chain technologies. And we've actually heard interest from other projects who want to incorporate something similar, including very large projects that are also looking at our generic asset bridge model. It's very similar to how wrapped Bitcoin works for the Ethereum network. So in order to move Bitcoin into DeFi protocols, there's a custodial process that goes through merchants, and users that want to use that want to wrap Bitcoin onto the Ethereum network have to go through KYC process and things like this. So actually for ours, it's a little bit simpler. You don't have to do any KYC on the way in to deposit any assets. But for large transactions on the way out, we will have KYC for withdrawals, probably over $20,000 for a single withdrawal. There will be some of that. But this is just to comply with to comply with the global AML regulation, so that's anti-money laundering. But basically what this allows you to do with the generic asset bridge is to freeze the assets. It stores them in our custodian, which is Hex Trust. They're a licensed, regulated Hong Kong trust company. They have insurance over their system, so the technology is very secure. It's banking grade security, so they have a partnership with IBM, R3, and many other players in the space. So they're very well established here in Hong Kong, and we've been excited to launch this with them to enable this cross-chain technology. So now you can have RFUEL come over to RioChain, but in the coming weeks we're actually going to make it so that Ethereum, USDT, Bitcoin, and other cryptocurrencies can also be brought onto the generic asset bridge, so that you can send them at the speed of RioChain, so you can interact with decentralized applications that are building on RioChain. And eventually, actually someone asked, let's see if I can scroll up and see the question here, because it fits in well. Let me see. Here we go. So Hita CP said, are you planning to add a swap feature in RioWallet? I think this is a very useful feature for users. So yeah, absolutely. We are looking to add a swap functionality into RioWallet so that people can switch between different cryptocurrencies very easily. So if you have RFUEL and you want to switch it to USDT, or if you have USDT and you want to buy RFUEL, these kind of things, we'll be incorporating that in the future. It's not in the Q1 roadmap right now, but hopefully in the second quarter of the year, we can start integrating a swap feature in RioWallet. And if we do have extra time in Q1, we obviously if we can get it sooner, it's great. But yeah, we'll definitely be looking to incorporate these. In fact, we are looking into building a DEX around RioChain as well, so that people can have swaps with much lower fees and much faster as well. Because I know there's some issues with slippage and the time of executing transactions on Uniswap. Although I'm also definitely a huge fan of Uniswap. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'd like to double down on that. The introduction of the swap, the generic asset bridge, that all these features that we are developing along with other projects in the space are of crucial importance for the entire industry to be able to reach mass adoption. Many of the issues that were present in 2017 are still present now. James pointed out that the transaction fees on the Ethereum network were going through the roof. And this is something that we already experienced 3 years ago. And if you look at the transaction throughput of the Ethereum network, it hasn't improved by an order of magnitude since 3 years ago. Yet there is more and more people using it. And I think this gives us confidence in our approach. The approach that we used to establish RioDeFi a couple of years ago is becoming every day validated when in the face of this increased adoption. More people want to use this technology, want to trade digital assets, but those networks have difficulties scaling up. And the ability to parallelize this transactional throughput across different networks, this cross-chain communication, the ability to store different digital assets from different networks in one wallet, such as RioWallet, of crucial importance to enable the adoption of this technology by millions of people, but then also by institutions who just simply given the fact that the user experience is going to be greatly enhanced and improved through the introduction of this cross-chain communication. So we also feel the weight of the responsibility that is on us to make this interoperable blockchain a reality.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. And also from my side, I would like to say that it's not only about the adoption for big institutions and also like users, but it's also, let's say, it minimizes the mistake from the new users in crypto when they're sending this or that amount of money, amount of funds, actually, crypto funds to another person. With generic asset bridge, basically, like it really helps easy and cheap to make the transactions, much cheaper than Ethereum, especially based on bull market. So thank you so much for this overview. And meanwhile, I checked some questions, and some questions are asking about RioChain. So many questions actually about RioChain. So about the key features of RioChain. I know we constantly mention that, okay, it's 3000 TPS, it's 2 seconds per block, it's fast and interoperable. But I would like to also to tell a little bit more about projects that are that would like to be built on RioChain. What kind of benefits they will have? James, would you answer, please? Because for now, we have already 3 projects based on RioChain. It's Mantra DAO that successfully launched and still popular, and I'm sure it's one of the most promising projects in our blockchain sphere. Plus, we have Labs about tokenization of real estate, and Leprechaun, it's a gaming prediction platform with NFT and DeFi in. So many projects are also contacting us to be part of a RioDeFi ecosystem. So James, would you please open this secret why everybody would like to be built on RioChain?
Yeah, absolutely. And if this is one of the questions from our community on the thing, let's show it on the screen as well, so it makes it easier for our staff afterwards to help with distributing the rewards, because I know we have some AMA rewards for the questions chosen. So yeah, I'd be happy to discuss. We have, as Katerina mentioned, a number of decentralized applications, or dApps, building on top of RioChain right now. So Mantra DAO is a platform for savings and lending. as well as other decentralized financial applications. So they have a lot of innovative features. They have the Mantra Pool, which is a sort of lottery system whereby, using Ohm, you can actually burn it to help increase or contribute it. I think actually they changed the burning mechanism to make it like you restake it into the pool so that you can basically have the ability to win various giveaways of like Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies. You have the Karma system that they're building that's going to have basically a new form of credit scoring for the decentralized financial space. So they have a lot of really innovative concepts and features. Stephane and I are both council members also of Montreal, helping with the governance there. And we're super excited about them coming onto RioChain. So they're going to come in phases. So right now, the platform's built on Ethereum, but over time they're going to move more and more modules onto RioChain, particularly as we build out our own DeFi ecosystem with more swapping and things of this nature. As you mentioned, there's Labs, which is doing the tokenization of real estate. So that's an entirely, massively sized market for the entire global financial space, right? Real estate is, trillions of dollars in assets. We all have to live somewhere, right? And we all like to travel and, this kind of thing. So, what this allows is people with even $100 can actually own a piece of property in various locations around the world. So this is great for people that are interested in investing in, for instance, Southeast Asia. Thailand is definitely improving each and every year and is a very tropical, fantastic place to travel to. So they have some great opportunities there for getting tokenization of beachfront villas and these kinds of things. So it's really cool to see that they've chosen RioChain to build their platform on, as well as they're going to require security tokens. So we're actually developing a security token standard on RioChain to help support the Labs ecosystem. So this is, I think security tokens will continue to become very prominent in the coming years. We sort of had those launch around 2017, but didn't really pick up too much steam, I think, because of the regulatory environment. But now that the space is a lot more mature, there are more security token exchanges, and there's a lot more institutional players coming into cryptocurrency. I think we're going to see this explode in 2021 and beyond. So we're very excited about Labs. We also have, as you mentioned, Leprechaun building on RioChain. So this is a gamified platform for prediction markets. So it takes some of the best concepts of DeFi, such as liquidity provision, yield farming, and allows that to be some of the financial backing for these prediction market applications where users can, for instance, with Bitpool, they can, so Leprechaun is this platform that's going to be launching a few different applications within it. So, it's kind of like super dApp that has sort of mini dApps or games underneath it, or within the platform, you can say. So Bitpool is going to have, basically users can guess the price of Bitcoin, whether it's going to go up or down, or whether Ethereum is going to go up or down, and they can win rewards if they correctly guess. And then there's KQJ, which is a card game that allows users to guess, pick a card, and if they guess correctly a few times, then they can actually purchase Bitcoin at a discounted price because basically there's an internal reward system there. And then they have an app called Fans Predict that's going to have guessing the outcomes of sports events or elections even, and various world events in the future. So this is these kinds of products are things that we're super excited about because they're really tailored for everyone. Most people watch at least one sport or have some say on the outcome of a certain political event or these kinds of things. Certainly everyone likes to guess whether the Bitcoin price is going up or down at any given time, especially in the crypto space. But you could, eventually they'll probably have that for stocks and various other things. So, these applications, are really what is going to drive adoption, right? So we of course have our own applications. We have Rio Wallet, we have Rio Pay that we're building, Rio Finance, like these DeFi pools and other savings and lending applications we'll be building in the future. All of these things, it's the actual usage that drives adoption. as well as a good user experience, right? Because you can't, if you come and try to use it and it's really complicated, really costly, and really confusing, then you're probably just going to leave and say, I'll wait a few years for that, right? So driving forward this, ability to have fun and do what you would normally do outside of crypto with crypto backing it, right? So that's something that I think, it's not just about, oh, let's have blockchain gaming and making a game that's not really fun, but then putting cryptocurrency in it and like whatever. It's like, let's take people like Josh Galloway, who's a veteran in the video games industry and mobile games. Let's take someone, he's launching this Leprechaun platform, and it's going to really make, take some of the best concepts from mobile gaming and make fun, experiences for people that also has crypto. So it's not just like slap crypto on something. It's like, let's, take a fun experience and then, have additional ways to earn revenue, right? Because a lot of times you're having to pay to play, but in this case, you get paid to play. So I think that's a really nice innovation that's going to shape the space moving forward. So anyway, those are the apps that are currently building on RioChain. There's other companies that we're in talks with now, so we'll be excited to share those as they come to fruition. But we are very active in talking to the different teams that are looking to build on a substrate-based blockchain. So RioChain is powered by this framework called Substrate that's interoperable with the Polkadot network through this Parachain thing. So actually, I did see a question about Parachains. Let me see if I can grab it here because it was one that I thought was really good.
This one.
Yes. Yes, Dennis Graham said, what is the Parachain slot about? Why does RioChain need it? And what are the chances that it'll happen? I see this question often in Telegram, but for us non-techies, it'd be cool to get it explained. Parachain slot, basically, this is parallel blockchain or Parachain. It's a concept within the Polkadot network that allows you to process transactions through your native chain and send that data up to the Polkadot network to benefit from the shared security layer of their multi-billion-dollar market cap, right? So instead of just having validators for a chain, that only has a few tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of market cap, now you have a chain that's backed by billions of dollars of economic value by having those very decentralized validators, secure that network, right? This ability to become a Parachain, you basically have to participate in an auction to rent a slot. So you have to lease a slot for 1 to 2 years, and you have to stake a lot of DOT, which is Polkadot is the native token of the Polkadot network. And by doing this, and by having community members, stake DOT on behalf of a project, then that project, if it has the most DOT staked in one of these auctions, then it wins the Parachain slot and it can rent it for that period of time. So basically, this will enable your blockchain, so in our case, it would be RioChain, to directly link and send all of our transaction data up to the Polkadot through the Parachain bridge to the Polkadot main network. And also, what other companies then can do, let's say there are other substrate-based chains that do want to do that same thing. They want to send data up to the Polkadot network. They can actually use RioChain under this, what they call a para-thread model. So they can actually essentially like sub-rent the space from RioChain if RioChain has extra data to send up to Polkadot, and they can actually send that up to Polkadot as well. So it can actually be a pass-through for other projects as well. So that's also a source of revenue. So it's definitely in our roadmap to become Parachain in 2021. We think we have actually a very good shot of getting it. We raised $20 million during our community crowd sale, and we have a very vibrant community with over 20,000 followers across Telegram, Twitter, etc. And so I think we're well positioned to get this slot in 2021, and we hope to be one of the first Parachains. Stephane, maybe you can comment as well. I know you have a lot of thoughts on DOT too. Obviously, having bought some as well.
Right, and for sure, I think Polkadot were the pioneers in the concept of Parachain. maybe also to some extent with the concept of parallelized transactions. I think the concept of parachain enables the scaling up of blockchain networks in ways that would never be possible with the reliance on one blockchain network. But I think it also enables new types of economic models, because these different networks can follow different rules in terms of the type of economic requirements that one chain needs to comply with in order to become a parachain of another network. And then this secondary network of this parachain will derive its security level from the security level of the main chain. So it's really a way not just to ensure that this whole ecosystem can scale up, but also to create new types of economic models that also allow to align incentives across the whole blockchain industry. And I see some of the questions in the chat relate to the competition RioDeFi is facing. And I think it's important to keep in mind that under this paradigm of parachain and cross-chain communication, the concept of competition may be a little narrow-minded in the sense that your competitor, the blockchain network that in principle should compete with your blockchain network, can actually become a partner and help you scale up activities on your own network. So I know that there is some terms that have emerged already, not just in the blockchain space, but of a collaborator slash competitor. And this is probably the type of relationship we are heading towards when it comes to the relationship between different blockchain networks. And for sure, I think the way we look at this at RioDeFi is when we think of other networks such as Cardano, Tezos, or EOS. We don't really think of them as competitors that we need to take market share from. First, because the market is so new, it's just in the early stage. It would be the same as saying in the 1990s, we need to gain market share on this internet company because the internet industry is so small, we need to take the biggest market share. So it's just the beginning of blockchain technology. The market is so huge, we don't really have to worry about who is our competitor. It's more about how can we benefit from the network effect that all these different initiatives are generating and bringing to the space. So that's more our approach, I think, when it comes to competition.
And from my side, I'm mostly for business development. So for me, it's a big opportunity basically to cooperate with fantastic projects. Because if you are talking about like some particular chains, it's impossible for them to cooperate or to integrate this or that project sometimes due to the tech restrictions, because this is particular chain. And with Polkadot, basically like with this kind of parachain, it's fantastic opportunity to make bridges between the chains. So to cooperate and to also to not to create something by yourself that is already existing, but concentrate on something new while implementing something from your partner. And at the same time, Stephane also fairly mentioned that we don't compete here. Yes, for sure, like there are some, I don't know, projects that might consider themselves as competitors, but most of the time we are cooperating. And it's so cool that even like when we are meeting similar, like not similar projects, but kind of competitors, it's not about competition, but we are thinking, oh, we should improve that. Oh, we should improve that. We could cooperate here. So that's fantastic for me. And okay, so I also wanted to ask you guys that the questions that have been asked many times by our community as well. So when are we going to launch mobile version of Rio Wallet?
Sure. The mobile version of Rio Wallet is planned for the first quarter of this year. So that's within the next couple months here before the end of March. So we plan to get the Android and iOS versions out there so that people can have RioChain on their mobile. We know we have the web version now. It's sort of more of a beta version of Rio Wallet, but we'll have the new interface very soon. and then the mobile wallets following that. So yeah, that's a quick one.
And what about like security of Rio wallet? Like, is it secure? For me, I know, but
yeah, absolutely. Let me put this on the screen because I know someone asked that. So this person, let's see. This is a good one. So we'll put it here, basically, just so I can we can make sure we give the rewards correctly as well. What security measures are you taking to avoid vulnerabilities that may process time, since you have a super simple way into exposing the users to their assets? So yeah, basically the security of RioChain is backed by the validator nodes. We currently operate, I know someone else had asked about why operate under a proof of authority system and before moving to nominated proof of stake. And the reason being that it enables you to have basically trusted nodes that secure the integrity of the network until your economic value gets large enough that you can have a decentralized network of validators that provide a robust ecosystem for that nominated proof of stake to be resistant to any types of economic attacks, because otherwise someone could buy enough tokens and try to attack the network through that. Now there are, of course, nominated proof of stake networks do have governance mechanisms to help prevent this, but we think it's because it's new technology, we want to proceed cautiously and we want to make sure that the network is very secure, especially in these early stages. Now, when we become a parachain, we'll benefit from that shared security layer of the Polkadot network, and that will move us right into a very long-term decentralized and secure network under a nominated proof of stake consensus mechanism. So these are some of the security measures we take, but also in terms of the custodial bridge, we utilize a partner, Hex Trust, that is an industry leader in digital asset custody. And as I mentioned before, they have partnerships with IBM and with banks, so that they're very, their full-time job is to secure digital assets, and they're a licensed trust company with insurance. So we think this is a good option for the cross-chain functions in the early stages. Now, of course, in the long run, we do seek to make decentralized cross-chain bridges. It's also one of the main things that Parity Technologies, the creators of Polkadot, are also working on, as well as the Web3 Foundation through their grants program. So we're very bullish on that happening for the entire ecosystem. But in the short term, you have to have these sort of bridges that can help to connect these chains. So yeah, that's how we secure the network in the short term and moving forward as well.
Okay, well, that's cool. And I had just a quick question. Are there any plans to enhance Rio Web Wallet UI experience? Well, definitely yes. So it's in our plan, and it's in our plan even in February. So it's going to be approved quite shortly. And yeah, just a quick answer.
Very good.
Okay, so let's move to the questions then, because we have so many of them, and I think that people started to wonder whether we are going to answer them or not. Okay, what is? Let me start with this one. What is RioDeFi's global expansion plan? Which market does RioDeFi focus on at the moment, or is it focused on building and growing to acquire customers, users, and partners? Well, I could answer that we have quite ambitious, let's say, expansion plan for 2021. And for now, we have already local markets, local communities in some countries like Philippines, Vietnam, China, globally as well. Also, we have a community in Korea, we have community in Bangladesh, and Indonesia. We have quite big supporters. So, at the same time, we are going to open new markets definitely, and new communities. We are talking to new communities as well. And shortly, we are going to also to cooperate with community that became quite interested and excited about RioDeFi RioDeFi features. It's community in Latin America, so like all Spanish speakers would definitely just go to this community and discuss like all the details in their native language, because I know as a foreign person, I know that like I'm not English native speaker, so I know how English is difficult sometimes for people who are living in countries where English is something, I don't know, like not even like a second language or maybe a third language, I don't know. So we really trying our best to go to local markets so people could just discuss everything on the local languages. Also, I missed community in Russia. We do have community in Russia, and we are going to expand it more. At the same time, we are going to also to go on Japanese markets shortly, and for sure we are going to Indian market, because Indian market we have many supporters from India, but we haven't united it yet. And I think like shortly it will be the moment when we will unite them, and basically we will have also great supporters there. And we already have a cooperation with Vault that helps us to basically to exchange crypto to fiat, and including rupee, what is important in India. So yeah, we are quite excited about it. And about like acquire customers, users, and partners. Yes, definitely. Lots of partnerships are coming up. Like for now, we are just like we stopped a little bit in January, but it was just because of the holidays, as it's slightly difficult to negotiate when people, you know, like mostly still like on holidays. So definitely like lots of partnerships are coming up, and lots of users are going to be acquired, although I don't like this word, with our Rio wallet and also other products as well. So just stay tuned. Okay. Guys, any questions you choose? Or would you like to add something?
Well, I think you mentioned that we were expanding in the Latin American market, so I'd like to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to Michael, who leads the Crypto Zero community, who is in the chat. Hey, Michael, it's great to have you here.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Any question, James, that caught your attention?
I see this guy, I believe it's a guy, Jan Kaveri, has asked a number of very thoughtful questions, so let's choose one of his. So can you tell us more about the relationship of RioDeFi with Montreal? Is there many similarities with your project team / advisors with the two projects? Yeah, happy to. So as I mentioned before, Stephane and I are on the governance council of Montreal, so we're council members. It operates as a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization. So we helped incubate them, actually. So as the first decentralized application on the RioChain network, you know, we had a very strong hand in helping to craft, you know, the formulation of Montreal, and really, you know, help it launch and integrate with RioChain. So you know, I spent 2 years working on DAO technologies, figuring out how to take them to the masses, how to make them, you know, more user-friendly and this kind of thing. So, you know, we've been very active with them from the beginning, and you know, that's sort of the nature of the relationship there. So we really helped them a lot, and you know, they're helping us a lot because they're really raising awareness about RioChain and the whole Polkadot ecosystem, which, you know, we're a part of. So, you know, that's that. And you know, in terms of RioDeFi, you know, we hope to attract many dApps such as Montreal onto our platform to take advantage of the benefits of, you know, RioChain.
Okay. I also like this question. Will there be a RioPay credit card in the future, and when might that be? Well, definitely it's in our pipeline, and already we are talking to a few, let's say, a few partners who could provide us with this solution. And I believe it's going to be closer to March, end of March or something like that. But for sure, like it all depends on our product structure and on the companies with whom we would like to partner, because we would like to have the best solution on the market.
Yeah, definitely. So one clarification, I think, so we are looking to do a debit card program more in the near future. So we'll probably have signups for that, as Katerina mentioned, around the end of March. We'll be able to give people the opportunity to start indicating their interest and signing up. And we plan on launching the first batch of cards in the second quarter of this year. So, probably between April through the end of June, somewhere in that time frame. Of course, things have been impacted. Someone actually asked a question, let me see if I can find it, regarding COVID. But basically, yeah, has it slowed us down? Let's see if one of you guys find that. But yeah, I would say there has been some things that have slowed down due to COVID. This was definitely one of the reasons that things shifted in our original roadmap, because we were not able to visit many of our team members that work remotely. Previously we were able to fly around and see each other a lot more often, but now we've been apart for further. So I mean, you learn to adapt, obviously, with Zoom and everything else, and meetings like this. But you lose some of the ability to really have things moving quickly when you're in person. And obviously, also with partners, it can sometimes make it difficult. Particularly when it comes to regulatory things, because you can't actually go and visit the regulators and see them face to face, or banks and things. That a lot of the banks still want to see you in the office, shake your hand, this kind of thing, right? So yeah, we definitely have a debit card program coming. We would love to offer credit cards as well sometime in the future. We don't currently have an exact timeline for that part, but once we have savings and lending on RioChain, that can be combined with a debit card program to make it very similar to a credit card. And then I know there's a few companies looking at actually the credit options for blockchain, programs as well. So yeah.
I see another thoughtful question from Jan Cameron regarding the goals that we have set for ourselves at RioDeFi. I think our value proposition hasn't changed from the moment we started this initiative, and we really want to bridge decentralized finance, blockchain-based finance, let's say, and traditional financial and banking systems. And obviously, we are working on these different technologies, such as RioWallet and RioChain, to help DeFi become more potent and scale up and become more attractive to the masses. On the other hand, we're also working on a series of financial services to complement and build this bridge between the traditional banking system and this DeFi system that we are working on. And although in 2021 there is, we have announced this in the past already, we're going to release these services called Rio Finance, and a number of initiatives will be launched in this regard, also with a view to bring in people in the space who are not crypto savvy or maybe tech savvy, and also facilitate the introduction of institutional money into the space. So we are already exploring these different trends, which we believe are quintessential to making blockchain and cryptocurrency fully mainstream. Thank you, Maisa. Someone commented on the poor lighting on my screen compared to yours, Katerina. So I felt I had to do something and just turn on the light on my phone to lit up a little bit my face. So thanks, Maisa. I appreciate your support.
So you're a tech savvy person because you know like how to use iPhone with the right purposes. Okay. What questions do we have else? Like
Let's see. I saw one about regulations. Let's see if I can quickly find it. Here we go. Regulation is very important. Many projects were closed in many countries due to failure to use the correct regulations and permits. In order to go global, how does your team deal with these issues? So a great question, S. Pedrino. We are definitely considering the various regulatory frameworks in different jurisdictions around the world. That is why we've actually already gotten a cryptocurrency digital wallet and exchange license in Estonia to be able to operate within the EU regions, particularly, but also globally from there. We've actually applied for the Payment Services Act license, the PSA in Singapore, under the name Rio Technologies PTE Ltd. So you can see that on the website there for the Singapore MAS and the entities that have applied. Between these two, jurisdictions will be able to operate fiat payment channels to most regions in the world. We will be avoiding the United States for the time being because the regulatory framework there is quite restrictive, as many crypto people are aware of. I'm probably, you can tell by my accent, very American. That being said, I unfortunately, we do have to block certain services from Americans at the moment because of the strict nature of the SEC and other regulatory bodies in the U.S. That being said, we're of course complying with global AML5 or anti-money laundering regulations to make sure that we stay on the right side of all the regulators, because we do think the reason there are regulations, right? Ultimately, the goal behind most of them is to, or at least the noble goal, let's say, behind regulations is to protect market participants from fraud or from bad actors and these kinds of things, right? From people that might try to harm them. In practice, of course, sometimes regulations become kind of anti-competitive and they create these barriers to entry for businesses, right? And make it a little difficult to operate a business, right? But there's sort of maybe a happy balance between the two. So in RioDeFi, that's why we're bridging traditional and decentralized finance. So we see the value of both sides of the ecosystem. Obviously using pure DeFi protocols, there's a lot you can do very fluidly, and that makes it a very you have cross-border money transmission where you don't have to rely on trusted third parties like banks and these kind of things. So yeah, we're absolutely staying very much on top of the regulations that are emerging in the various countries that we're operating in. So great question there.
Okay. Well, quite good answer.
Thank you.
And for now, I would like to answer this question. Will RioDeFi have any kind of membership system in the future? If yes, when will we be seeing this system, and what do we need to be part of it? Well, for sure, we are going to have an ambassador program implemented quite shortly. By quite shortly, I mean in February. So for now, we are just thinking of the right incentives and the right, let's say, KPIs and selectiveness for our ambassadors, because this is important, and it shouldn't be just referral program as it is, but it should be something more complex, because we do appreciate people who support RioDeFi and who have been with us since the beginning mostly. And for sure, we are going to announce it probably mid of February, something like that. So please stay tuned, and we are going to share also additional information via materials that will be available also on our, let's say, on our website, and you will be able also to apply either directly or through the website as well.
Yeah, and a quick shout out to one of our first ambassadors who didn't wait for us to even create a formal program and just said, look, I don't care what the program is, I'll do it for free. I love you guys, and that's Mario, so thank you very much. We're very excited for you to build the Portugal community for RioDeFi. And I think he already created a custom shirt as well, so a t-shirt, so it's super cool. and we're very excited about Rio's growth in Portugal. I actually visited Porto, Portugal in 2018, I think it was, for Anarcho Portugal, sort of the overlapping of crypto and anarchy, sort of an eclectic group of people. But it was quite an interesting thing looking at, just the various ways that cryptocurrency allows for more freedom, because a lot of people think anarchy is without rules, but it's actually without rulers. The idea being that you can have self-governance and have people, communities operate together to really live peacefully and thrive. So anyways, that is a great point about the loyalty or membership system. I like the idea for the ambassador program. I also like the idea of a membership system for other people besides just ambassadors. I think Montreal is doing something like this with their Karma protocol, with their sort of DeFi credit scoring. Something like this, of having like a system where people could stake RFUEL for access to certain VIP tiers and benefits. It's definitely something we've thought about and something we're looking into. So, great job in proposing this. We haven't finalized any programs yet, but we'll continue to think about it. The more we hear that community members are interested in it. So we love the idea of membership programs.
Yeah. And I could say, like, since early beginning, lots of community members, they were targeting us, like, guys, we would like to be your ambassador. Like, how could we be them? And we created the pitch deck, and there was such a long process to identify basically like which countries, what kind of parameters should be implemented, and so on. But I'm really happy that eventually in mid of February we are going to launch it. Okay, and
I'd like to touch on what James referenced to anarchy, because as we all know, blockchain technology has a very strong social and political component to it, because it redefines how money works, how banking works. And that's something I'm very excited for. In the very near term, especially under the rise to prominence of Bitcoin and Ethereum, we see now institutions such as BlackRock moving into the space, and Bitcoin's value is already in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Probably very soon it's going to get into trillions of dollars, and the value of one Bitcoin is more than a 12 ounces gold bar. So all this, I think for the time being, is mostly impacting the financial world, and Bitcoin especially is gaining a lot of traction in traditional capital markets. But we see already at the political level, we see Christine Lagarde from the International Monetary Fund, who is commenting on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin more and more often. If Bitcoin really increases in value dramatically this year, which I think is going to happen within the next few months, it's really going to impact the way governments, central banks consider not just Bitcoin, but blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies as an alternative financial system. It's becoming a reality, and it's very hard to anticipate what are going to be the implications of this in the geopolitical landscape. Because if you have a new store of value such as Bitcoin, which becomes more valuable than gold, when we know the importance of gold, especially in the past, but even to these days in the global banking system, what do you make of these new digital assets that can be owned by anyone in a fully transparent way? The paradigm shift is so profound. The consequences on the global political system, I think, are going to be equally profound. I'm very excited to see how governments are going to react to that. So a fascinating prospect, I think, for our space in the next few months and few years.
Yeah, and in addition, many banks, basically, even like big name banks, they started to create their own tokens inside the ecosystem and apply with it to the government regulators. For me, it's like that also becoming more open. for blockchain space as well. It's really cool. So I'm just thinking like which kind of questions should we answer? There was one question about the marketing plan. Stephane, it's more for you.
Sorry, Katerina, I didn't hear your question.
There was a question about the marketing plan. I was just like, see. So it's more for you.
Yeah, I think Katerina already you touched on this a moment ago. When it comes to our objectives for 2021, really want to act on both fronts, on the DeFi backed financial services and on the more traditional financial services, and bring them together. We really want to create a channel and a conducive way for non-crypto people to get into the space. And the solutions, the products, the technologies we are building are really geared toward this vision. And the marketing initiatives that we are working on aim at supporting this. And there is a number of markets, obviously, that we are focusing on, geographically speaking. We were a little surprised, I think, last summer to see how emerging economies in Southeast Asia, especially, are increasingly interested in cryptocurrencies and DeFi services. And I think the reason for this is quite simple, is that in those countries, especially the financial infrastructure is not as robust as it may be in Western countries, maybe. And cryptocurrency and DeFi platforms are not just an alternative banking system for them. It's probably the only banking system they have access to for many people. And so the need for the type of products we are developing is real. We are really confident and cognizant of this fact. And this is why our marketing efforts will primarily focus on these countries, emerging economies in Asia, who have a real need for our products.
Okay. Oh, that is a nice question. If not Polkadot, would you be interested in launching RioChain on Cardano?
So we're very committed to the Polkadot ecosystem. I guess it's sort of this touches on a few points, which is actually, so RioChain is built on the substrate framework. So this is a framework for blockchains that is made to be interoperable with other substrate-based blockchains, which includes Polkadot, Kusama, and many others. But actually, it's independent as well, so we can operate as our own blockchain. However, we of course are also targeting to become a parachain so that we can benefit from that shared security layer of the Polkadot network, and so we can benefit from the interoperability of those cross-chain bridges of the broader Polkadot ecosystem. So, by plugging our blockchain into this Polkadot network, right, and also into Kusama network as well, this allows for much more opportunity to have cross-chain communications, messaging, transmission of assets, etc. So we're definitely committed to doing that. Now, that being said, what we can do with Cardano is to create a cross-chain bridge between RioChain and Cardano. We don't have plans to do this in the near term, but maybe later this year we could create a bridge to at least allow Cardano ADA token to come on to RioChain so that people can use it in the various dApps that are building within our ecosystem, as well as savings and lending platforms, etc. So that's definitely something we can do. And then further would be a further step would be like a sort of smart contracts between the two chains. But that's that would definitely be in the very long term, I think. In the shorter term, we're actually looking to have more smart contract integration with Ethereum. So basically, what we've already done is to bring the Ethereum virtual machine palette onto RioChain so that we can have Ethereum-based smart contracts within the RioChain ecosystem. So it's similar to the approach that Binance took with the Binance Smart Chain, which also we're looking to integrate with. So right now, this quarter, we do have plans to bring BNB, the Ethereum ERC20 version of that token, the BNB is the Binance token, to bring that onto RioChain. And then further in the future, we want to have a direct integration with the Binance Smart Chain. That way we can have cross-chain DEXs in the long run to have more liquidity for all of the decentralized protocols within the RioChain ecosystem. So we're very much looking forward to that. So thanks for the great question.
And another question is, what do you think about NFT who become trend in 2021, or will be RioChain in the future adopt that? That's a good question also, because like we have a Leprechaun that is one of our dApps that is built on RioChain, and basically like they have kind of mix of NFT and DeFi, and that's really cool. But what about RioChain itself? Well, RioChain is RioChain. It's not about like let's say completely NFT or completely that or completely that. It's more broad, I would say. So
yeah,
guys,
definitely. Yeah, I think Leprechaun is going to bring NFTs onto RioChain. Probably be one of the first projects to do so. I know Montreal has also done NFTs already on Ethereum for their community, and that was quite successful. So I think in the future, once we have an NFT standard on RioChain, they'll likely bring those to RioChain as well. And then eventually, we would like, whether it be us or someone else, we would love to have an NFT marketplace also on RioChain to interact with various savings and lending protocols, because we love this idea of NFTs having DeFi components so that you can stake pieces of art, for example, to generate yields, based on maybe how many people view it, or how it interacts with a game. For instance, in the future, I could see virtual worlds that incorporate NFTs, so that you could have an art gallery within a virtual world, and every time you look at the Rembrandt within that, the NFT Rembrandt within that gallery, maybe someone gets paid a little bit of a yield. I mean, this is kind of out there stuff, but it's actually already starting to happen within the crypto space. So very cool to see.
Since we're talking about NFTs, I would like to share with you the latest production from this artist called Bitpool. Some of you may be following him on Instagram. Yeah, he came to prominence recently by developing NFTs of his own pieces of art, and which relates quite extensively to cryptocurrencies. Let me share this this latest production of Bitpool. I think you're gonna like it. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yep. Elon Musk, the infinite pumper of Dogecoin.
Right.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, that started as wasn't it an April Fool's joke, or maybe they reached out to him or something a long time ago, and about Dogecoin. They made him like the CEO of Dogecoin or something as a joke, and then I think he made his status that or something on April Fool's, and then now he's got this tie-in with the ecosystem.
Besides I would strongly suggest that you follow Bitpool because he puts a piece of art on his Instagram every single day. He's been doing this, I think, for the past 10 years. He's a big fan of cryptocurrency because by using NFTs, he's been able to raise $3.5 million last month selling NFTs that he had created. So this is quite fascinating to see first, okay, an artist which before would probably be able only to make himself known using social media, with I think little chance for his art to generate actual revenue, to this person who has been able to earn millions of dollars for his work. And if you look at this particular picture that he developed today with Elon Musk, who is probably one of the richest person, if not the richest person in the world, who is also commenting, influencing now the crypto space. So blockchain and cryptocurrencies are really going mainstream. It's happening now, and they're just under our eyes. And this is very exciting to see mainstream industry leaders like Elon Musk also being involved, even in a funny way, but being involved somehow in the space.
Okay, and I would like to answer this question. This one. And I guess, James, you could help me with it, because like so many stuff has been achieved. Like we've started in, let's say, we went public in 2020, but we had lots of work to be done already in 2019, as I remember. It was like there were a lot of pros and cons because it was crypto winter, but eventually, like we decided to move forward. So, regarding what we achieved, well, in September, 28th of September, we were listed, and we were listed in 14 exchanges. So at the same time, we created lots of communities locally and globally, and we obtained lots of supporters from our side. At the same time, we concluded many partnerships with such giants like Certic, like MoonPay, Volt, Slowmist, BCW, then also Kylie Network is one of the leading Polkadot projects. Also, what else? Like, so many projects like in partnership with us. And at the same time, we also, let's say, we also created a Rio wallet. We created a RioChain alpha version in the beginning, beta version later on, and eventually we created generic asset bridge. We also created our own, like obviously, as I was talking about RioChains, we created our own testnet, and plus we were audited by Certic, and our smart contract was audited by Slowmist. At the same time, we created a better concept. So in the beginning, it was just like basic one, but now we have the whole concept of the ecosystem to stay in the market for longer than 5 or 10 years, and even much longer. So we have a clear picture what we should do, how we should do it, and we grow fantastic team inside RioDeFi. So now it's not only all fast like Kevin, James, Stephane, and me, but also lots of people joined RioDeFi as well. And now we have teams all over the globe, but mostly concentrated in Hong Kong, and our tech team is still like mostly concentrated in Shanghai. So yeah, lots of stuff has been made. James, Stephane, would you please share your thoughts about the main achievements so far?
Well, I think you hit it out of the park, Katerina. You pretty much nailed it on most of the highlights that we've achieved over the past year, especially. And obviously we have been working on this ecosystem for almost 2 years now, and we all have experience many years prior to that, and so it's a journey in the crypto space, right? Through the ups and downs, the bull markets and the winters. I think we're in a bull market right now. I think we can all agree on that, with Bitcoin all-time highs, Polkadot, etc. This one seems to me to be a little bit more, I don't know, it's more controlled. I think it's potentially because of COVID, because there's not the conferences, there's not I don't know, people have kind of maybe learned a lot more about cryptocurrency in the interim years. So, it's maybe there's higher quality projects certainly than I remember. Obviously there's the whole mix, right? You have the sort of pump and dumps, you have the DeFi food coins, some of those are good, some of them are not, this kind of thing, right? You have all sort of variety of projects in the crypto space, but I do see so many great projects coming out already in 2021 as well as 2020. So I do see that the market has matured quite a bit in the past interim, and saw this one since Stephane got some praise earlier. Someone else is coming to Katerina's support here. Enjoys her smile and says it's awesome to see all the time. Yeah, we're very lucky to have Katerina. She always puts us in a good mood. So she's constantly reminding us that we need to look at the emotions that are necessary in any project as well. Like, it's not just about a technically good like product, but it needs to make the user feel good, right? It needs to be pleasant to use. It needs to be, and so she's really good at bringing the user friendliness aspects into our technology as well as into our staff. So thank you so much, Katerina, for that.
Okay.
Now we got more comments. I won't put those ones on screen. Let's see. Actually, this one's a fun one. So is there any connection with the Buddha story with Rio's origin? So we saw some speculation on Telegram yesterday, actually it was, regarding this. Basically, people were wondering, where does the name Rio come from? So we've actually answered this in some AMAs before. Basically, Rio is the word for river in Spanish, and to us it represents the ideas of liquidity and flow, right? Good money is flows through society, right? It's the lifeblood through which humans are able to interact with each other, to create things of value, right? To incentivize people to take positive actions for the community. At least that's money in, I would say, its purest form. It's a form of energy that's liquid, spendable, and so Rio for us represents these flows of wealth throughout society. And as you know, DeFi, of course, so our name, RioDeFi, DeFi stands for decentralized finance, and it's our mission to accelerate the mass adoption of digital assets by bridging traditional and decentralized finance. So the Buddha story, for me, does come into play here, actually. So, someone had posted the other night that Lord Buddha, as we know, attained enlightenment at Gaya, his first bath in the river Niranjana, known in Pali as Lilajan, is the most striking event in this process of becoming a Buddha, a river mentioned in the script. So basically, this was a key event in the Buddha's life, and one of the projects within our ecosystem, Montreal, right? They have this idea of bringing peace of mind into your finances, right? Financial peace of mind is so important, right? Because when your finances are taken care of, you can focus on the things that you love to do. And you can focus on how to best contribute value to the world, because you can find what it is that really lights you up and what really helps you to feel alive, right? And we want more of the world to have that experience because, for us, many of us, crypto does that for us, whatever reason. I guess we're all nerds, but we really have found the benefits of decentralized finance, of being able to have free flows of money from people to people without these people standing in the way of that. And I think it really shows where the world could go in the coming years. So yeah, I think these things are all, for me at least, interconnected, to have an aspect of spirituality mixed with finance, mixed with the idea that we can make this world a better place. So whether that be through ohms, to give a sense of peace and harmony. The Montreal token is named Ohm. Whether it be through, the Tao, which is, a concept in Taoism, of course, but the path, the way, that Lao Tzu talked a lot about and brought to the world. So, these different concepts, these philosophies through time, why do they hold sway with society to this present day? It's because they have truth in them, right? And so I think one thing Bitcoin brings to the world is mathematical truth, that you can have this digitally scarce form of money that is unable to be printed. It has a mathematically derived scarcity. And so, this is very different from central banks, which can print money, at their whims and will. Now sometimes obviously there's some benefits to that for society, like during crisis times, like coronavirus. It's hard to say in the long run where this might lead. But I think what it is doing is waking people up to true value. And so thank you for this question, because I think it's important that whatever you do in the world, that you really put your heart into it, and that you do it in order to contribute to a better world for yourself and your community.
Well, I could say that that was great that you mentioned, like, why Rio, why RioDeFi, like why the name is like that, because actually lots of people, they just like name the project without any like any story behind or something like that. But I remember that moment when all of us, we were sitting together, and actually we were trying to think about the name, and it was like, what should be the name? Now, like, we have the concept, but what should be the name? And it took a few days basically before we came up with Rio. And thanks to Kelvin, because it was actually his idea. And we just like, yeah, sure. Like, this is going to be like the great narrative as well, like the great concept, the whole concept. That's really cool. So, also, some people mentioned, well, Rio means liquidity and flow, great AMA. So you see, James, everybody is thankful for you to mention about it. Okay, so have you have other questions?
Looks like here's my time in the sun. So someone's giving me still look pretty good today. Thank you very much, baby shark doo-doo. I love people's names and the families.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we have addressed a great number of questions. I hope we have covered the most important one, or I hope the most relevant one. So thank you very much for asking them, and thank you very much for joining this call. It's great, and for us to interact with our community and to receive all your support. It's very important. We are together on this journey, and I think probably in our industry, we feel that the connection with our communities and all the other projects. We are still a small industry and still very well connected. So we feel the warmth. Thank you very much for all this.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, also for your time today, because I know how all of us are busy and how long it took for us to make. So
I know.
Yeah, and thank you so much for sure our community, because I'm sure like you have plenty to do as well, and we really appreciate your support, and that you're staying with us, and that you're interested in RioDeFi. So let's make the project, and let's make the world actually like better and more prosperous, I could say, and also for sure like make our community more prosperous. So this is also the key.
We have the year of the bull coming up. I think it's absolutely appropriate for 2021, especially in the cryptocurrency space. So for those familiar with Chinese New Year, this is the lunar calendar, and yes, this year is the ox, or otherwise known as a bull. I mean, there's slight difference in English, but anyway, yeah, very exciting to see that, and we have something in store which we will be announcing very soon, next week, about a campaign around this. So we're very excited for what's to come in 2021. I think it will completely shift the global economy, and I don't say that lightly, because just like the internet came out and changed the entire world very quickly, I think cryptocurrency is the internet of money, and I think it's going to similarly dramatically change how the world works, both from an economic and a political standpoint, as human operating systems start changing around the truths that govern the world. So, we're very excited for this, and thank you all for joining us this evening. Thank you, Katerina, for helping to curate the questions and keeping us on track. And thanks, Stephane, for being a Chad. This, for those that don't know, that's a DeFi term. That means the yield farmer that always wins, basically. I mean, there's many interpretations of a Chad, but basically they don't lose. They make good trades, and they yield farm like heroes. And yeah, Stephane is definitely that. They tend to be also quite muscular, so good job.
A big shout out also to our colleagues who have been behind the scene helping us. Deborah Wrighton, thank you for your hard work and for staying with us.
Yeah. So thank you guys, and happy upcoming Chinese New Year. Let's say like that.
Bye-bye, everyone.